Honorable Farah Maalim is now joining us, Member of Parliament for Dadaab. Thank you for making time, Honorable Farah. Before you came in, we were talking about how the floods have been handled, and then now we are now talking about the NADCO report that is coming out on Saturday.
The what?
National Dialogue Committee report.
Yes.
And let's start with the floods, because I know your constituency in particular has also been affected quite much. What is the progress, what is being done now, and how has it been handled?
Nothing. So far? The government has done almost zero. I mean, sending some 2-3 helicopters, choppers to take 2 tons and 3 tons in a population of over 2 million people there, and everything is cut off is nothing. I mean, this is a total failure on the part of the government. The president or his deputy, I know the president was out of the country, his deputy or himself from wherever he is should have declared a national disaster, because that's what it is right now. Kilo of maize meal is costing 5 times what it used to cost before, because it's not available. Delivering mothers cannot even get porridge, and there's nowhere they can, even with their money they cannot buy because it's not available. So what we needed by now is for the government to declare national disaster, and for all assets, the entire Air Force, this military structure of us here, plus the World Food Program and the international community would come in, and then we will see how people can be supported with a lot of air droppings, with helicopters. You have to save lives. Lives are invaluable. They are not replaceable. They are not replaceable. Once you die, you've died. So we can't watch our Kenyans suffer like that. A lot of it is because this place has been ignored for the longest. For over 60 years of independence, we only have a tarmac road that stretches for less than 100 miles. That's all, in that whole infrastructure there.
Yeah.
That also goes for Lamu, I mean, and for Tana River. Certain aspects of Tana River, at least in Tana River, they do have some one road.
But isn't that what devolution was meant to address? Yeah? Isn't that what devolution was meant to address?
No. National disasters are not addressed by municipal, what they call, authorities. Nowhere in the world are they addressed by that. The economy of Florida is more than 10 times our economy here, this country called Kenya. And when there's a typhoon, when there's a hurricane, when there are floods, there's something called FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and it kicks into action. And they come from all over to support it. What can the county governments do? That stuff that Rigadi was saying that they should go on. I know he's been there only for 1 term as a member of parliament before he became a deputy president. But for God's sake, he needs to do better than that. You can't run, your mouth the way he's doing it right now. You need to do your own research, go back and do the needful. He's a heartbeat away from the presidency of this country. God forbid, but if anything were to happen to William Ruto, he would be our president. With that kind of a material, telling that the governors go and take care of yourselves and plan for it, how? How do you plan for it? What can the governors do? What assets do they have to mitigate such a situation where they cannot get to an expectant mother or a delivered mother? Do they have helicopters? Do they have, what do they have, by the way, let me ask you. There's nothing that they have that can address such a situation. This is bad.
So at this particular point, what are
this particular point this government has done, I mean, this is literally going to be the litmus test for the way we're going to deal with this government in the future. Because this is a failure, total, absolute failure. In the first case, I don't know where the advice came from, or whether the president himself is the one who chose to talk like that. He says there'll be no El Nino. In a way, you literally have told the international community to stand down. And then we get an El Nino worse than any El Nino we had before. The last time we had a serious El Nino was in 1997. It's nothing like what you have right now here. It's probably half of what you have now. And then there is no government, you see. In the very least, the government should run and call the international community, make what you call a flash appeal to the international community, say, look, we have this disaster. Well, the 7th most powerful economy in this country, this world, is the Turkish economy. I don't know whether it's the 7th or it's the 13th, but yeah, 7th. It's the 7th most. When they get an earthquake in one city, the whole world comes to assist them. Disasters are not something that even governments can on their own alone cope with. This is a serious disaster. And then you tell a small regional authority that probably gets 45 million, $45 million in a year. That includes the recurrent expenditure and everything else. You plan for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of ignorance. For God's sake, let us have a better government than we have now.
Okay.
It is serious, it is bad, and we need, this government needs to pull up its own socks and move with speed and see how we're going to assist them. In the very least, the declaration of what they call a national disaster would have been, World Food Program has got choppers all over. They have airplanes that can do what they call aerial droppings.
Yeah.
They can drop food from there. They are in Juba, they are in Uganda, they are in many parts of the region. And if the Kenya government had asked for that support, they would have mobilized all that.
Okay.
We would have a beehive of activities right now in the region. But we don't have that.
Okay. So now, now what you're saying is government has simply failed the people.
Completely, utterly, and literally failed in actually irredeemable manner, I can tell you. This is not the way you're going to run a government.
Okay.
This is not the way you're going to run. It's not like the cheap, what you call reckless statements you make out there, shareholders and everything else, and you keep talking. I mean, that's not the way to deal with a situation like this.
Okay. All right. Now we're talking about the national